lot of one in Portland. Did it last year, but you're going into your first season, just being there full time. Is anything changing your approach or anything like that?
Oh, I played 26 games here last year at the one, right?
Yeah, that's right. I just said. Yeah.
Am I tripping? No, I think it's just understanding spacing, understanding what Willy wants to accomplish on the offensive end. Obviously, we insert Z into the lineup. That changes things a little bit, but I'm an aggressive-minded basketball player, so I'll be aggressive-minded throughout the season. I'll make the right plays historically, and I'll be sure to make sure that I'm running offense the way I'm supposed to while still being myself.
And just what was it like just seeing B.I. out there, his first action, what he was able to do in that game?
We know what he does. You guys probably haven't seen him, but we've seen him all summer. We've seen the work that he put in. We understand what he has to offer offensively, defensively, and how he's continued to take steps forward. And he's been working out. I joke and say he's been working out for 2 weeks, so it's glad it translated.
Right, exactly. And just how much does his versatility help you guys on offense?
I mean, he's a monster. He can do whatever he wants out there in the court. He can score 3 levels. He shot some threes, which is good. I'm glad to see him shooting more threes, and he can get to the free throw line, finish around the basket. He's a better passer than people give him credit for, and I think in terms of offense, I don't see any flaws.
CJ, you talked about on media day needing to, wanting to see most improvement in on the court chemistry. Did you kind of feel that progress during training camp and of course the preseason schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been having some competitive practices. Coach can't go through the whole sheet because we're competing and really getting after it, and he's got to take care of our bodies and make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. But I think it's been great. Getting to compete against each other with different lineups, different groups. Obviously Z, BI, being able to switch teams up. I think it's been productive for us, and now hopefully we have everybody healthy by opening night.
What have you seen from Trey in these last few preseason games? It seems like once Willy kind of said something about letting it fly, he's been doing that a lot.
He looks good. He looks comfortable. Obviously, some guys have been banged up, so they've been in and out of practices, and that kind of messed up rhythm and timing, but he's shooting the ball well, showing his explosiveness, and I think he's very confident and understanding that he's going to have a role on this team this year, and we're going to depend on him.
He's been stretching out his distance on his three-point attempts. Obviously, you play with a guy who would shoot it very consistently from 30 and 32. What kind of pressure does that put on the defense when a guy can hit from that consistently?
It makes them have to extend in terms of closeouts, longer closeouts. They got to be aware of where the guy is at all times. Understanding that he's a knockdown shooter, but he also has the ability to finish around the basket.
You've dealt with injury in a longer period of time before, pertaining to Zion's injury. Talk about what the challenges of what that is for being sidelined for a long period of time for his last 2 years.
I think that most of that is behind him. He's been able to play in some preseason games. He's been able to go through a full training camp, practices, scrimmages. So now it's just about continuing to take care of yourself throughout the season. It's a long season, getting your rest, mixing in your work, and he'll be fine.
Jonas is about to come over. He doesn't like to talk about his own game very much or himself, but can you kind of talk about just how valuable he is in terms of what he brings as far as easy baskets and points in the paint and just being kind of the anchor?
Yeah, very consistent, very efficient. He's got a back to the basket game. He's got a jump hook. He's got a mid-range game, and he can shoot threes pretty well. I think he shot 40% last year from three. So does a little bit of everything. Obviously rebounds, and I think as the season progresses, we'll continue to figure out ways to use him, pick and pop, let him get some early touches, and continue to take advantage of his skill set.
You mentioned his three-point shot, which he's added in the last few years. How impressive is it that it just seems like he's, at this point in his career, he keeps getting better, he keeps adding different stuff to his game?
That's important. That shows growth, that shows development, that also shows that he cares, continuing to figure out ways to adapt as the game adapts. And he's a guy who's very skilled. Coming from overseas, he has an understanding of skill development and the importance of work.
Willy said in practice you guys have been using a 16-second shot clock sometimes. It seems like playing fast is a pretty big emphasis. Just how fast is the pace you think this going to be this year compared to some of the teams you played on?
Faster. It should be faster. I should be passing the ball ahead. We should be looking for the advanced passes and playing with more of a sense of urgency. We're better in transition. We're better points per possession when we push and advance the ball. So hopefully we continue to do that.